So we streaming live from Los Angeles. Basically, we trying to get the conversation started about what's going on in our country. And this is talk radio. So we're going to advertise the number so you can call in, give us your opinion about what you think is going on, because we've been really divided lately. They're just telling us to stay in our house and not do anything. And I don't know what that's going to lead to. It's unprecedented, but I don't see how people are just going to stay in their house and not do anything when the First Amendment basically gives us the right to protest, and that has been suspended. As you can see yesterday when we talking about this black man that was killed by the police, once again, George Floyd, I will say his name. When people came out to protest, they were met with tear gas and rubber bullets. So it's like we can't say anything about what's going on with our fallen brother, even though we just had Memorial Day for fallen soldiers. And we just lost one the day after right in front of our face. And when it comes to their holiday, we're supposed to have these big old military planes flying over Long Beach that we're supposed to take our kids to go see. But what about the ones that are getting killed out here by the police? When we want to have something for them to say this is wrong, this is not right. And we're broadcasting live from Los Angeles, Leimert Park, Crenshaw, Baldwin. So wherever you are in the nation, I'm talking to all my black soldiers out there, the whole black nation. We have to start communicating because we don't know what's coming next. This is an election year. And I started this show early. I wanted to get more prepared. And I've been going over things, trying to get this show together. And this is one of the things that just yesterday, after watching them murder that man, there's no more preparation that I can do. It's just something that has to be done. So I'm going to try and get this number to you. As you can see right there, there is the number. You can call in. We're streaming live.
Did you put the number up?
Yeah, I did.
I don't see it on the live.
Oh, okay. So forgive me if we jump around a little bit. This is my co-host. Her name is Mika. Want to say hi?
Hello, everybody. I'm here to help out my brother on this live thing. We got a lot of protesting going on. I feel that we've been protesting for a long time. There's different ways to protest. Sometimes it's boycotting. Sometimes it's peacefully protesting. Sometimes it's just circling the black dollars and getting away from other people. I really feel like the nothing really changes with peace. As you can see that we've been overcame by war. There's a war on our people. And so I'm just wondering, do we realize that there's a war? How many of you know that there's a war on us? How many of you understand that whether we're going to fight in this war or not, they're warring with us all day, every day? I really didn't want to speak on this subject because I've been mad. I've been mad since Latasha Harlan. I've been mad since Rodney King. You know, I was only 12 years old during that time, but that's when I started realizing the state of our people. I'm just one person, though, and it's going to take more than me to make a change. I think that we all need to get on the same accord and get rid of these philosophies that's holding us away from each other and keeping us divided. Because there's one common goal, and that's to get out of the state of being conquered and subjugated by these oppressors. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just a little nervous. This is the first time I ever did a podcast live, all professional and stuff. But anyway, so My thing is, I want you guys to speak on it. Give us your thoughts. The number is on the screen. You can call in and let us know, how do you feel about what's going on in our country today? What's going on with the black condition? The condition that we're in, how we're being oppressed in the street. Did anybody see? Can you bring up the video of? Well, I really don't want to show the video, but did anybody see how that man had his knee on that man's neck? I ain't even gonna say that man. That Neanderthal had his knee on that man's neck. I didn't even watch the video at first, and my friend said, you need to watch the video. And when I watched the video, that Neanderthal took pride in having his knee on that man's neck. He just stood there prideful. And it hurt. It hurt. And I think that 90% of those Neanderthals think like that. So give us a call. We're taking phone calls. Let us know what you guys are thinking. Let us know how you feel about it. I don't know if you could join us on this particular live because we're streaming from a different app. But let us know, you guys.
Actually, yeah, you can just, you see the number on the screen, so just call in. It's just basically what we're trying to do is get a conversation going between people about what's coming next, because we got to stay aware. You know, we really don't have any leadership. And if you ask me now, they hired Benjamin Crump as their attorney. And it seems to me like, I mean, I don't want to say anything negative about one of our brothers who's doing positive, but it's starting to just seem like he's an ambulance chaser. You know what I mean? Just he's representing all these people that have been murdered, and we're talking about 1 month. You know, I mean, just the month of May, how many people that we've lost. It started with the brother getting killed in February, you know? And it just comes out now that that there were no charges. So it's been, 2 months? 2 months till they want to bring up the charges on the people that did it. So what can we expect from what's about to happen right now? We got videotape. They have videotape all the time. What are we going to do with video? Because we keep seeing the results every time we keep video. And over and over again, it's like we're going in the same circle. You see what they did this time? Oh, I can't believe it. And to make it even worse, the man was talking about, I can't breathe. Now, we've seen this movie before.
Yes, well, Alton Sterling. Oh, no, not Alton Sterling. Freddie, it wasn't Freddie Gray. It's so many of them. We got Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile. But to touch on the reason why it's being videotaped, you guys got to understand, this is a modern day lynching. This is being recorded on purpose. This is being recorded to incite fear in you. This when they used to lynch us back in the day, they would call all the townspeople to come watch it. Then they would lynch us in front of our families to instill fear in us, to make us weak. So what's going on is, I'm not going to say with the last guy because those were innocent bystanders filming him, but those videos that the cops are having on their bodies and everything. Their body cams. Thank you. They're doing this on purpose. This is purposely done to instill fear in us, just like the media is controlling us with the thought that, okay, they telling us like 50,000 people died of coronavirus or whatever, but it's millions of people that's still living. You know what I'm saying? So and I said this before, you guys got to pay attention to these numbers, because the numbers are very significantly low as far as the death toll compared to the people that's still living. You understand? And most of the people that are passing away are passing because of pre-existing conditions, meaning that they're not really dying from coronavirus. They're dying from their pre-existing conditions. And that's right, Moses. We've been at war. We've been in war. No, they've been at war. We ain't been at war. We've been peaceful. We've been forgiving. We've been loving and everything, and they've been warring with us. We can't even go live in our own community without them coming to put us in their cages.
There's a lot of, well, you know the numbers. But how much information is coming out of the penitentiaries right now? I mean, how do we know about this COVID-19 and how it's affecting our brothers and sisters that are locked down? We're not getting the numbers, and the mainstream media is definitely not, going to start talking about how it's affecting people that are locked up in jail. We're at the 100,000 souls mark. 100,000 souls, man. And that's nothing to take light. You know what I mean? I don't know what it takes. Do you know how many people in Wuhan have died? 4,000. 4,000 in the whole of China. I said Wuhan. All of China, 4,000. A little bit over that. And, and this dude, all he wants to do is point blame. But see, every time the news comes on, what they say is the most vulnerable. It's like they've given us a new title and new names. It's not like we don't know who you're talking about. We know damn well who you're talking about. So let's look at the way that it's affecting the most vulnerable. I guess that's the new word for black now.
We've been colored, we've been black, we've been African American, we've been the N-word, we've been Moors, we've been, the other N-word, because it's like 3 or different N-words that they are. So it's a byword. Like, they want to call us everything but who we really are. So, but then again, we don't even know who we really are now, do we?
Yeah, I have knowledge of self. So, and it's, I like to project that onto others just to be aware of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because the devil is really revealing himself right now in all these ways. I mean, the whole planet is under attack. Where have you heard of just everybody in the world stay home, do nothing? I mean, how is that? You shut down the whole world, and then we're not supposed to be communicating. That's why this show is what it is right here. I looked up National Black Talk Radio, and I haven't seen anything that's doing it. So we're trying to get this forum together where you can call in from whatever city you in, whatever state you in. Give us your opinion. You might be seeing something that we're not seeing. We're in one spot. We're in Los Angeles. We're holding it down in the Crenshaw district, where gentrification is big time. I can tell you that right now. So I'm pretty sure the same thing is happening in your community. They're watering us down. They're dividing us. They're telling us to stand on there. And what I saw yesterday after they murdered this brother is that we can't protest because we'll be met with tear gas and rubber bullets.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on a couple of things. Listen, you guys, it's not smart to just go out there and just start acting a fool. Don't do that. That's not it. Okay? It's not smart to put your plans out there on what you're going to do. Don't do that. We need to get back, like I said, to the Negro spiritual days, the road maps in the hair and things like that. We got to stop giving these people our code like Snoop Dogg, telling them what we're saying, and they understand everything we're saying and stuff. So then we don't have our language anymore. And I understand some of you believe there are some good ones out there. However, we cannot be so trustworthy. We have to close the gate. You know what I'm saying? If this reminds me of The Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? Is you gonna let the zombies in to eat everybody? Just because one zombie is good, that zombie gonna switch on you at some point. So you just gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? On what you're doing. Don't just go out there as no one-man army trying to shoot up a whole bunch of people. You got to think smart. And another thing I really want to stress, there is more than one weapon than a gun. And they're using it on us right now. The number one weapon they're using on us right now is fear. Fear is the number one weapon. Another weapon that they use on us is biological. When they put different diseases in us, they're using different weapons. They're using psychological weapons. You got to think smarter. You guys are scared of the gun, but we are inventors of many things. We can invent a lot of things. We got to think smarter. Stop thinking it's all about the gun, because it's not. Because if a person can strategize good enough, they could conquer a whole nation with just a rock. Understand that. Also, the coronavirus thing, just touching back on that. and the stay-at-home thing. I know everybody want to be cautious and everything, and that's fine. Be cautious, be safe, because we really don't know how real this is or whatever. But we have some people among us that are scientists, and we have some people among us that know better than some of us. So we need some of you guys to do some research and get back to us on this. Let us know what's really real. You know, don't leave us in the dark. Stop selling your soul out for silence or for a green dollar that don't mean nothing really. Because what really means something, where the real value is in you as a people. Okay? Let me just
Look, I don't want to dictate about, what you should or shouldn't be doing, but what I do know is that on this road that I'm on, I would feel a lot better. You know what? We seem to have some thing about masculinity. Man, I gotta tell you, man, I love black men, right? And when I say something like that, people might get the wrong conception because of the way that it's fed to you today. But when I see one of us get killed, like I feel like I lost somebody, that could have been helping like build this nation. And we have to come to a point where we got to ask ourselves, what is it that we want? How can we put an agenda together? What is our agenda going to be? And who's going to lead us there? We have no leadership. This is an election year. And I'm going to be with you all the way up to the election. This talk show is so that we can come together and try and figure this out. If we don't put together an agenda together, because I'm pretty sure that if I look at the black agenda from the 80s and compare it with whatever Biden just released 3 weeks ago, what difference am I going to see? Raise the minimum wage, health care, you know what I'm saying? What about protecting us? You see we're getting murdered in the street and there's no accountability. Who's going to hold these people accountable? If they could just go home and be with these 4 officers got fired, man. They got fired the next day. You know what I'm saying? What about being arrested? Where does that come into play? Look at all the victims that we've had over the past month. And nobody's being accounted for. They get to go home. But put yourself in that situation. You murder somebody. Are you going to go home? No. You're going to have $1 million bail if you have a bail at all. So this is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. Look, we got to have somebody who's going to have our best interest to tell us this is what we need to do now. This is what we're going to do. And just like you, I know I'm a soldier. I'm just waiting on orders. We need a general, somebody who's going to step up and give us the direction, the play. You already know what I'm talking about. Most of y'all like sports. Who's going to give us the play and how are we going to run it? Because we're going in circles now. Look at what they did this time. Look at what they did. Can you believe this? They killed the man in the street. We've seen this movie over and over again. And I find myself falling into the same behavior of just sharing a video of somebody getting murdered. And then, it gets swept under the rug or nothing happens. We go out to protest. And what I'm saying is we're met with tear gas and rubber bullets. That's why we're airing this show right now because, first of all, I'd like to thank my host. I'm not going to say nothing bad about social media right now because we can get banned and not even know we're being banned.
Keep it clean,
we're probably not even reaching you right now.
Here's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know who runs these platforms.
Right.
And on that, in the past 2 months, just made $60 billion because we're in the house and they know that all we can do is jump on social media
and talk.
And talk.
All we can do is talk. I just want to address somebody real quick. Manette Turner said, that's silly. There are many of all nations in this world where people, not just a race. Okay. Yeah, that's the mentality that's keeping us out of the race, that's keeping us the last to finish the race. That mentality right there, yeah, of course. There's a lot of people in the world. You know what I'm saying? I get along with a lot of people in the world. But those same people, they are committed in this race, in their race. And it's called a race for a reason. Because they're competing. See, we don't compete because we already are divine in ourselves. So we just want to be left alone. But they see the divinity in us and they don't want us to win this race. They see the strength in us and they want to keep us down in this race because they know that we can win this race. So we got to get out of that mentality of inclusion. It's because it's a delusion. They try to include us as a delusion, and still we don't have anything tangible for us. You know what I'm saying? The Koreans got Koreatown. The Chinese got Chinatown. Well, where's Black African color? We don't even have a nation. We don't even have a nation to even have a town. They're still redlining us. If you don't know what redlining us, it's the same thing as Jim Crow. They would give somebody with a prestigious job that's African American, Black, or whatever you want to call them, a high interest rate on a loan, and then give somebody that's a trailer park trash a lower interest rate, and he probably work at Payless somewhere. We got to open our eyes, man. We can't just be sitting here closing our eyes because somebody of a different race was kind and nice to us. They're kind and nice to us to get our secrets. They're kind and nice to us to keep us subjugated and to know their next move to counteract our moves. You guys got to wake up. This is not checkers. This is chess. If anybody know how to play chess, do anybody out there know how to play chess? I'm just asking.
I mean, they've been working strategies on us.
There's strategy about this. And I keep mentioning the word infiltration, and I need y'all to look this word up and understand what infiltration means. You got to understand. Matter of fact, the spook that sat by the door, is that the name of the book? The spook that sat by the door?
I haven't read, but I think I'm familiar with what you're talking about. Okay,
so the spook that sat by the door, it's a reverse of, it's a black guy who was in the FBI. And he went into the FBI to learn FBI tactics, and he brought it back to the street, and he infiltrated the FBI for the betterment of the black people. We got to understand.
COINTELPRO, then.
Yeah, this is COINTELPRO. She said, this is not wise. Goodbye. Use wisdom. I say the same thing to you because these people have been lynching us for 400 years, and it has not stopped, and it has not changed. Granted, some have came to try to stop it because in the North they was feeling their pockets was hurting because the South was where most of the slavery was in the first place. So the North was having their pockets hurting. So of course they had the Civil War back then to stop slavery because the North wanted crop. In the North you can't grow crops. You can't really grow like you can in the South. You know, you're not really getting the imports and exports. You guys got to know your history. You know what I'm saying? That Christianity got you guys brainwashed and not really understanding history. Yeah, they want to
speaking on that, I've been watching. I don't know if y'all was watching this little Memorial Day series that they got going on Grant on the History Channel. Yo, and God bless that man. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Lincoln's right hand man. He was born in the North, and the whole story of, he married this woman, and his family, her family was a family of slave owners, man. So what he did is, he basically wanted to build him and his wife their own cabin because he got discharged, came home as a drunk. At least that's what they're saying. And when he came to the plantation, or his father-in-law's plantation, he gave him a slave. So basically, he had the man help him build his cabin, and all the neighbors and stuff, because this is Missouri, right? All the neighbors complaining because he's out in the field with him, doing the work. And then when the work was done, what did he do? He set the man free. And this is even before Lincoln was elected. And, after it happened, they succeeded. He became a general. He started going straight into the heart of Dixie, kicking ass. You know what I mean? He had one, what do they call it when they surround a fort and can't nobody go in?
Like a guerrilla warfare or what?
Nah, just basically you can't get no food, you can't get no supply, you starve them out. Anyway, he was starving them out, and they came to surrender. He said, "What are your terms of surrender?" And he said, "Well, I'll let you take your property." No, they asked him, "Look, we surrendered, but we just want to take our property with us." And he was like, "What do you mean by property?" And he was like, "You know what I mean, our property." He's like, "No, that shit ain't happening, right? You said I'll let you have your horses, I'll let you have your pistols, but the black people, they staying with me, right?" After that, what he did is he started training them how to use guns, started their own army, and I think you can look this up, Silica Bay. That's where they had their first stand, and they was worried about they didn't think black people could fight, right? It was the whole union. The Union soldiers like, why are we giving black people guns? They don't know how to fight. They don't know how to do this and that. Man, they had one mission, and that was to hold this one supply line. Do you know that they were outnumbered about like 4 or 5 to 1, and basically they was not letting these crackers have nothing. Basically, they got 70% of them. Okay, excuse me. 70% of them got killed, right, holding it down until the Confederacy gave up, man. And after that, that's when they started making the black regiments now. And you're saying, why am I talking about this? Because what's going on today, man? We've been so separated from our history. A lot of people don't even know this. I watch the History Channel. When they say they're coming up with a 3-night documentary, especially on the dude on the $50 bill, because I love $50 bills. I love General Grant. I love the Union, because without them, they wouldn't have said, well, we probably wouldn't be free today. Okay, so I've been following his story for a long time. Him, Sherman, all the great generals of the North, you know what I mean? But it does matter today, you know what I'm saying? Because kids ain't learning. I tried to turn my son on to that. My son, who's an 18-year-old gangbanger, right? I said, you want to be out here in the streets, you know what I'm saying, going at it with your brothers. Why don't you look at, you know what I'm saying, how these men died, you know what I'm saying, for something that they didn't even really believe in, your freedom. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but a lot of them people did not believe in property. They believed in property rights, which we were property, and they didn't, care either way about black people being free. But at the same time, you're talking about over, what number are we at with the COVID? 100,000. They were dying, I think, 500,000. 500,000. So compare all the people that died over COVID fighting for black people to be free. So don't ever get it twisted like all white people are evil. We are, the name of this show, this talk show, we are one. And you know what I'm saying? We're not going to get anywhere as a human race. And I know my sister right here was just talking about race, racial matters. But we're not going to get anywhere as a human race until you know what I'm saying, we start realizing that people that are starving, we can do something for them. This whole capital thing where it's all about money and people at the top are getting all the money, and then the people at the bottom, the low-hanging fruit. Look what's about to happen right now. And that's why I said, please call in, man, give us your opinion, because we don't know what's going to happen next. What's going to happen to us people at the bottom?
Okay, so
people of color at the bottom who don't have resources, don't have saving accounts. And they talking about you don't have to pay rent now, but when this is over, your rent is due. Seriously. And they don't want us to talk about this. Like, all the headlines have been the same. Just talking about Trump, what he's doing, the COVID deaths, all this. What about what's really coming next for our people in our communities? Now, I just started this conversation off talking about gentrification, right? I know you see it where you live, unless you just live in like just low squalor. Even then you might see them jogging through, walking their dogs. You know what I mean? It's starting to be a renaissance for people that are well off to come back into the city. So now what do you think is going to happen? You can't cover your rent, but you're sitting on prime real estate. They call it a pandemic. Look, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm trying to create value with this show, right? So that you can call and tell me. This is just an opinion. But until I hear from you, I need to know, we were talking about, they say you can't even say 5G, pandemic. But it seems like it's weaponized at this point. Like they've been weaponizing what's going on. They're sending it to Brazil. You know what I'm saying? He's deporting kids. He's sending people back to Guatemala who have tested positive. Now Guatemala has a problem, and they're doing it on purpose. Uh, no, what is it when the kids don't have any parents with them? Sending them back. They sent back 600 last month. So, I mean, they are weaponizing. How do you export a disease to countries that do not have the means to combat it, right? So, I mean, it tells you right there that they want a lot of us gone. You're talking about population control. It's right in front of your face. But, you know, as far as the global black nation, we're going to have to figure, and there is a cure that has been found, not a cure, but a remedy, a natural remedy that's been found in Madagascar. I'm going to do a story on that because they're not telling you about it. The African Union even met on it. And the first thing that the World Health Organization did was demonize it. Say it hasn't been tested, but it has no toxicity in it. It's all natural remedies. And it's a drink, and if anything, it's a preventative from anybody catching it. You know how many deaths they've had in Madagascar? 2. I'll leave it at that.
I'm not gonna be on too much longer. I have some differences of opinion with my brother here, but I'm gonna let that go right now. She said we mixed race or whatever. Okay. The one thing that I want to say is that we just need to think smarter. Yeah, I guess you might. I don't know. I just don't trust. I don't really trust too many people. The first order of business though is to deal with us first before I know who I am. But I'm saying a lot of people don't know who they are. They reject who they are because they allow their oppressors to tell them who they are. You know, so that's I can't, you know, I could lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. And we have to think, and so we have to think about what we can do as a people. Okay, yeah, you guys want to add everybody, every other race, and this, that, and the third. But that's not what they're doing. I mean, yeah, they kind of like trinkle a little of us in there, but not a lot. They basically stay very solid with one another, and that's all I'm trying to get everybody to understand. We need to be solid with one another first before we start adding other people to the pie. I know we're mixed races. I come from mixed family. We call our family the Rainbow Correlation. So that's not exactly, you know, what I'm saying. I'm saying is that we need to start with us first. We're on the bottom of the totem pole. We don't have no army. We don't have no natural resources. Only a handful of us own land. We don't have no imports or exports. We don't have any currency of our own. We don't, you know, we're comfortable with the government that our oppressors created for us. We've been conformed to the ways that they have or whatever. And we need to be able, you know, they come to our neighborhoods and put us in their cages when we should be the ones policing ourselves. I live in the hood, so I understand where Manette Miles is coming from because it's a lot of bad black people out there too. And I'm here to tell you it's not good in the hood. And it hurts my feelings. So people hate when we talk about black on black crime and everything, but it needs to be addressed as well because it's real. You know what I'm saying? I've known some close people to me that wasn't even gangbangers, wasn't even about that life, and their life was taken by those people. We're getting terrorized by our own people in our own hoods, you know, and then the mentality of our people is so messed up. Oh, somebody's calling in, I guess. Answer. Somebody's calling in. You gotta answer it. All right. Give me here. There you go.
Hello. What's your name?
Hello?
Where you from? What's up, brother?
Oh, what's up, man? Moses. I'm calling from Jersey.
What's up, Moses? How you doing, man? What's going on in Jersey?
I'm good. How are you?
We good, man. Well, we not, but you know, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I just was on the live, whatever, and and basically what I basically want to say is about the whole union soldier thing that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They basically used us. Just like you said, they used us. They used us thinking that we was gonna, we was gonna be free as slaves. And what happened was they supposedly promised us like 40 acres mule, whatever you want to call it, and they promised us that, and they promised us jobs. They didn't give us that. Then there was another tactic.
Are you referring to Reconstruction? You're referring to Reconstruction? After the Civil, okay. Definitely.
Yeah, the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened was, from what I heard, with the Civil War, after we fought for the Civil War, they promised us land, and they promised us jobs. They didn't give us neither. And that just became another tactic to another one of their other laws, which is if you don't have a job, you get locked up.
Yeah.
And then that's when they created the KKK to protect the union jobs. If I'm not mistaken.
What happened was Lincoln got shot in the head, man. That's basically what happened. So everything that he, as far as the law legislation, that's what they call it when they knew it now. All that was out the window.
Real quick about Lincoln, though. Everybody think that Lincoln set us free because he wanted us to be free. He wanted to return us back to Africa. Okay, everybody praise Lincoln a lot.
He wanted to save the Union. He didn't care about the slaves. He said if he could save the Union, he quoted, if he could save the Union and keep us slaves, he can do that.
Right.
If that was the option.
Right.
And plus, he was like a dictator. He was against blacks mixing with interracial relationships. He didn't care too much about blacks.
Well, that was the law. That was that was Southern law, but in the North, I'm really not too familiar, but I mean it was frowned upon. I'm not gonna say that they couldn't, but definitely in the South it was frowned upon. Let me ask you: are you watching? Have you been watching the miniseries on history about his general Grant, which came out on Memorial Day?
No, I didn't watch.
It started on Monday. I think like the third part is tonight. Yeah.
What is it called?
Grant, General Grant. You know he became president.
General Grant. Yeah.
He's on the 50
Grant.
Yeah.
Ulysses Grant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Useless Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Useless, whatever. Yeah. I didn't know that he had a miniseries.
But man,
what did it say about that?
It's saying basically it's like it's kind of hard to make comments on how whites' perspective on Negroes were in that day. They had abolitionists and when you got this thing going and it's like property is valuable, number one. So, what I'm saying? If it's worth something, you be looked at like a fool to give it up. You know what I'm saying? If you had a house that's generational, if your dad died and gave you something, like say he gave you these 3 souls, they might be black men or women, but at the same time, it's worth something. It's valuable. So, if you say, well, I don't believe in this and I want to give it up, that's just basically like, emptying your bank account. You know what I mean? If you set them free. Now, keep in mind, you can't sell them. You know what I mean? But people in the North, they looked at it like they frowned on it. And that's the perspective that I'm getting from the whole documentary. And one of the reasons why they started the war.
You got to be careful when you're watching these documentaries, though, on everything, because I'm just being real. This is who I am, and I'm not trying to disagree or anything like that. But I was watching that one documentary about what's the lady that created the hair products?
Talking about Madam C.J. Walker.
Madam C.J. Walker, and how they vilified the black man in the whole movie, and how so much of the stuff wasn't true. So you gotta be this media stuff. You gotta be careful when you watch it. Take out the meat and the potatoes, you know what I'm saying? Because half that stuff, they try to glorify and amplify
I know what you're saying.
Different parts of it that's not even true. And it's always the white savior or the female white savior or the white man savior.
Yeah, they always do that. They always put that white savior in it.
Yeah, so you
because,
got...
Go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Mm-hmm. I'm a theater major, so I know how the whole Hollywood perspective goes when it comes to that. They sometimes they put their whole falsification in there to trigger the audience and all that shit. Like they did with I don't know if you ever seen the Idi Amin story with
Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker.
It was They had this little white savior. He slept with his wife.
Scotland. I mean, the whole thing, King of Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't know why they had to throw that in.
You gotta be careful because they will.
Yeah, they had the white dude sleeping with his wife. It's like it was like totally false.
Like we can't put this movie. We can't put this movie out unless we got to put some
and then,
white.
Like blood diamonds, too. Like also blood diamonds.
Exactly. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The only thing I did like, the dude, he died from trying to steal them diamonds from that black dude from his country because he basically used them. He used them, then the white woman used them because she was a journalist, tried to do a story on him. She did a story on him, and then he tried to take the diamonds. Irish dude, obviously, tried to take the diamonds, and he tried to purchase them, I guess, try to live off the diamonds. Then come to find out, the little henchman dude they killed, they end up shooting him, and he ended up dying. Then the dude he took the blood diamonds along with the white woman, and he ended up getting them.
Let me
he ended up living off of it. Yeah, his money.
Let me ask you what you think about the people that are trying to protest. What happened, man? We're showing the video right now. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Are you watching the stream?
I can't even watch it because I'm on the phone with y'all. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, we got the video up, and it's like the first night, right, what happened was they came out peacefully, and the police met them with tear gas and rubber bullets. Now, mind you, man, the dude had his knee in the dude's throat.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes. Yeah, for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Flexing. I mean, if you ask me, it ain't nothing but showing, you know what I'm saying, this is supremacy.
He was so
You know
proud.
what I'm saying? You underfoot, you under neck. So, naturally, we're going to come out, we're going to have something to say about that because, the city want to make an arrest. I mean, not an arrest, but firing them. So this dude at home right now watching the protest. After he just murdered a man. After he just murdered a man, he's sitting at home watching the protest. I mean, like, when does it stop, man? Like, what do you think it's going to take for us? You know what I'm saying? And now, keep in mind, this is an election year. So, I mean, what is that we going to ask for? You know what I'm saying? What is our vote supposed to be? Because it seems to me like all these organizations.
I don't believe in the whole voting thing. I never did. I don't think even our votes count. I never did.
They don't.
Yeah, I think it all starts at home. I think all teaching starts at home.
Let me tell you something real quick, not to cut you off, because I just want to touch on the voting count. I used to work at the county register recorder, and I would count the votes and stuff like that. I was doing it every year. So what would happen was we're still counting votes, right? We're still counting votes locally and on a mass scale, like presidential and everything. And sometimes we'll just do local votes, district, choose a Congress or a district person or whatever. And before we could even finish counting the votes, they already had their winners. They already had their laws put in place. And that's when I lost faith in the voting system. Because I used to work the polls faithfully. I used to put on my I voted sticker. I had it flashed all over Facebook and everything. And when I realized that, when I started tallying up the votes and I realized, okay, Something ain't right because we're still counting the votes, and they already got winners. They already got
Yeah,
they already
selected the
got the
winners.
laws that they wanted or whatever. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And so
You gotta see it. No, it's not trying to change the subject. When Obama was elected, look how many black people that was unarmed that got killed,
But
and then now they
a
doing
little
this
a
slow
boy
thing.
that looked just like him. You know what I mean? Over some Skittles and a soda.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Could have been his son.
Yeah, this dude look like him. I ain't even noticed
And he
that.
did say that. He
Like
said
him.
this could have been my son.
Yeah, it looked just like him, and it was so many like in both his terms that was murdered. That's why it's such a coincidence. A black president is in office, and then so many of them are being slaughtered. It's like purposely they wanted this to happen, and then like now, what's named last year, this happened
Man.
because we want him out.
It's coming from the top. You know what I'm saying? The whole messaging is us versus them.
It's like,
and that's what he's telling
like,
the people, us versus them. But man, I be telling people, man, look, you gotta look past the dude in the White House and worry more about the people that's supporting him. How his numbers stay so high, no matter what he does, or you know what I'm saying, how stupid or ignorant he seems, his approval rating does not drop. You need to worry about who are these people. Who are these people that approve of all this bullshit that he is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Behind. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to look behind the man, like who's controlling the man. You know what I mean? They put him in front of us. Yeah, but, we see him clear as day, but you also got to look and see who's standing behind him. And I see millions of motherfuckers, man, that just do not like what's coming up in America. But
do you think it has something to do with like what's the Chinese dude, ambassador dude that he was connected with?
Kim Jong, yeah.
He's Korean. He's Korean.
Oh, well.
You don't do the Asians like that. You gotta separate them.
Oh, my bad.
He's Korean. No, because my family, I have Asians in my family, and they'll be mad if you call them Chinese. They Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So he's Korean, and Kim Jong Un, what's his name? June. What's his name? Kim Jong. John. Okay. He's more like a dictator in Korea. So Korea is a communist country. Like so he keeps tight. We need to follow his. He keeps a tight leash on his country. He don't let nobody in, nobody out. That's why you don't even have any reports of Korea having coronavirus. You don't have any media outlet about anything.
And that's why America.
Go ahead.
And that's why America can never control Korea. Am I right?
Right.
Like control their dollar, because that's the thing what America do. They try to control that dollar because the American dollar don't have no backup resources.
No, it does not have any intrinsic value.
Nope. They have other countries' backup resources. So when you go to each certain countries, they got control of their resources, and then just so happen the American dollar is more valuable over there.
That's why they killed Gaddafi. Gaddafi was killed because he had resources, and his resources would have put his country on top because he had plenty of resources to back his currency. It was another person.
He's going to build a central bank. He's going to build a central bank in Africa.
Who was it?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to control those resources in Africa.
Right.
The thing is, like, Africa didn't have no control of the resources because of America.
It's one
because of the loans they taking from America, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like America.
But look what happened.
Other countries, they don't leave. They go build other bases.
Yeah.
And why are they doing that?
AFRICOM, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And they're also pulling the tax on the Somalis right now. I don't know if you're aware of that, but the one sister, she was protesting that. Yeah,
I'm trying to that's why I try to learn from other people from stuff like that to know why America start all these wars. I guess because of money. They trying to govern other countries.
Well,
Other countries are not doing that.
well, here's the
I know.
thing. This is what you got to understand about America, right? You have this thing called United Nations, right? There's I'm not going to go into detail which countries is, but it's basically most of the countries in Europe, right? And so what happens is the United Nations come together, and America is the police of the world. So the United Nations come to the table. And so they say, okay, well, we don't want these people, and we want to get this. We want to get this this land. We want this land because it has these resources, right? It's not that these people are doing anything wrong. It's just that they want the land, they want the resources because they want the fuel, or they want the gold because
all money.
What the reason why they want the gold is not to rear around their necks. They want the gold because it powers different machinery. Gotta understand that. We the only dummies that wear the shit around our neck. Okay? And they also want like the platinum and then the different diamonds and stuff. These diamonds and these rocks that they're using it for their weapons. They're not using it to show it off. Okay? So this is why they want these resources. And so so they're trying to,
and that's why they go to war.
They go to war to take over land and the resources so they can stay on top and in power.
But they don't always do that.
Yeah.
They don't always do that.
You can have a treaty,
you mentioned Colonel.
But let me tell you
no,
this.
they will take your shit. They will take your shit.
They're going to war with people.
You know what, man? They do it with the dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? Leadership.
And I think they keep doing
that. The dollar has no intrinsic value.
No,
they don't do it with the dollar.
No, a lot of leaders of countries, they will sell their people out, man. They will sell their country out, man. They will sell their reserves or whatever they got, natural resources. They will sell them out, man, for some money, man.
Not for money, for fear.
We got to get past this system, man, because all this shit is concentrated to the top. That's
what they was doing with each.
We're the only ones that sell out for money. In America, we're the only ones that sell out for money.
No. We are not the only ones.
No,
we're talking about African leaders. We're talking about South American leaders.
Right. The South American and African leaders, they're selling out of fear. They're selling out because they don't want people to keep coming and attacking them, and then they don't know how to utilize the resources that they have to build weaponry, to build an army. Just like they're not using their resources like the Americans and the Europeans and the Russians. Now the Russians are not part of the United Nations, but I just want to touch on something real quick because I'm about to leave real quick. But there is a treaty right now in Antarctica, and I want you guys to Google Antarctica and look it up. It's a lot of things happening over there. They discovered a lot of things and a lot of new natural resources that they're not talking about. In fact, I believe they found a parallel time where the time goes backwards over there. So you guys got to keep your eyes open. Yeah. I was researching this a long time ago about Antarctica because nobody really went there. Huh?
That's altitude. Altitude.
Well, it's because of where it sits on the earth. That's, what I mean?
High in the motherfucker.
Huh?
Yeah, on the peak.
What I'm talking about?
No, it's high. It's high elevation.
Yeah.
Altitude of the actual planet. Yeah, time can change up there.
Yeah, so what's going on is time is going
different
reverse.
Tactics. They got different tactics of how they control like each country, like with the whole Iraq when that war in Iraq, and they control that, and then they control something with Cuba when they have Obama send a message to Cuba, they make these little threats, these little like side messages to scare them, just like how they doing Americans here in America.
But
like how they doing with the television and all that bullshit.
Yes, it's too. But also though, they have different weaponry why certain people are doing certain things, and
like how they.
But that's why Putin. Let me tell you, because this Antarctica thing is gonna hit the fan, and y'all gonna remember when I told y'all this, because that's why Putin got so much leverage, because Russia was the first people to discover this particular area in Antarctica. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's right now. Every single country in the world has a peace treaty on that soil, but sooner or later there is gonna be a war over that because it's a newfound uninhabited territory. So I just want y'all to
So
pay
you think
attention.
this is gonna be the next war? Because every time they have like a stock market crashing, there's always a war. Like what happened with the Great Depression.
Yeah,
Like when
World
they
War
did the Great
II.
Depression,
Yeah.
Great Depression lasted like what 6-7 years. Then that went into like World War II.
Yeah.
Was that with the Korean? That was with the Vietnamese,
No, that's
right?
the Vietnam War. That's a different war. The Great Depression.
Yeah, that was 15. No, that was 15 years later. Stock market crashed in 29.
Oh yeah, that was
29, and then World War II happened. I think in 40.
World War II was between
so who was that? That was
World War II was between Soviet Union and the United Nations, but the Soviet Union is no longer around. So that's with Hitler and those type of people, because Hitler was killing all the Jews and stuff because he knew what type of people they really were. Hitler did not understand how a small portion of people control all of the banking system all across Russia, and he felt like that they were evil, and he wanted to clean them out. So he started.
I looked into that. It's crazy. Like even his people, they wiped out his whole last name. Even his brother wanted him locked down or whatever. His brother was like a politician or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one was after him because he was American. He was in America, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. So what a lot of Nazis ended up doing to save their lives, they end up saying that they were Jews. You know, so these people, to save themselves from destruction. So a lot of
they try to make themselves look like they was like this innocent people when they wasn't.
Masters of disguise, of deception. So you got to be careful.
Are they doing that today?
Because they made it look like, just like how they made like Hitler look the worst. They made, just like how they made Gaddafi and Saddam.
Oh, they are.
Like how they.
Well, I mean, look at what they do to us. You talking about a smear campaign?
Exactly. When the Panthers came out, they live.
No, you talking about a smear campaign?
Terrorists.
Nah, man, look. You know what I'm saying? We could be doing
the
greatest thing for man. Shit. You know what? Martin Luther King was basically made out to be a criminal. You know what I'm saying? Until he passed away. Until after you died. Now it's when after you die that they make you into this. You know what I'm saying? This big hero that did so much for justice and righteousness. You know what I'm saying? But before that, they was like, man, this dude is starting trouble everywhere. You know what I'm saying? People really wanted to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Anything they could do to get rid of him, that's what they tried to do. You know, until he finally got. Until he finally got. And then everybody gets sad, you know what I'm saying, have a riot like you seeing right here during the stream in Minneapolis. And then after that, you know what I'm saying, he's a hero. But, yeah, brother, thanks for calling in, man, letting us know what's going on in Jersey, man. We're going to try and get better at this, man. If you can, you know what I'm saying, because we're going to tighten this up. The whole thing is for us to start talking. You know what I'm saying, to start communicating. You know what I mean? We don't know what's going on in Jersey. Same way you don't know what's going on out here, man. And you know what I'm saying? You know the saying goes, divided we what?
We are at y'all at
Yeah,
we in Los Angeles, man.
California.
Yeah, streaming live,
we
man.
In California.
At Mark Park, Crenshaw.
That's where.
I just hope.
Yeah, that's where I want to be at.
No, you don't. I'm trying to get away from here. It's crazy.
No, I mean not like that. Cause like that's where the Panthers start. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, in Oakland, California, though. They were in Oakland. You don't want to go to Oakland either. It's different. Everything. I want to go there,
but I always want to just explore those type of routes from over there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you know what the old, you know what you in Jersey. You know what the old head told me. You seen the Warriors, the movie, right?
I remember the Warriors.
The movie, The Warriors.
About it a little bit.
You ain't never seen it?
I heard about it.
I'm not even gonna go.
I don't think I've seen it.
They was like
a gang. I'm not even.
They was like a gang.
I probably heard phrases of it, and I might know what you're talking about.
Well, it starts off with this gang leader named Cyrus, and he gets shot by a gangster, a white gangster. What my boy was telling me is that Cyrus, he got knowledge, man, and was turning his gang into the Panthers, man. And he wanted to unify and organize all the gangs in New York and the feds, they got this one gangster, which was a white boy, to shoot him, take him out, and blame it on the Warriors. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's dope, because it used to be one of my favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't really hip to the math, you know what I'm saying, that of how the beginning started off. But yeah, that's a little jewel right there, man. Become a filmmaker, man. Do part 1. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on.
Do part 1, man. Yeah. Go ahead, man. We need Warriors. We need the updated Warriors.
Are you a filmmaker?
You can't be. You said you studying art. You said you studying art?
I studied theater, though.
Theater. That's what I'm saying.
What did you do in theater?
I act. I was acting. I did a couple plays. I did period plays. Like I did like segregation plays, like me being, a black man that's in America that's segregated. Like I did one play. It's called Lesson Before Dying. That was original HBO original play movie.
A Lesson Before Dying. My auntie made me read that book when I was like 14 years old, and I cried. I cried on that.
Yeah, I played Jefferson. I was the one that got executed.
Oh, no. I cried. Man. And they was just waiting, and then they could hear. It was just so crazy. The book was amazing.
The play, like when I was in the play, like the way he did it, like they had the electric chair. I'm standing by the electric chair, and then they just blinked the lights. And then I had the electric chair go. After I read the teacher, he reads the letter, and I'm basically performing the letter by talking by reading it. And then they just blink the lights, and then
no doubt. It sounds like
had people boo-hoo crying.
Yeah, it was sad. It was so sad because wasn't he like 12 years old or something? Like 11 or 12?
No, he wasn't that young.
He was
young.
He was
like the teen. He was like he was like 19.
Oh no.
The character was supposed to be like 19 because Mekhi Phifer played the original like HBO movie, and Don Cheadle played the teacher.
I don't think in the book he was younger than that. In the book he was younger. He was like
probably
11 or 12. Like he wasn't even past.
No, I don't know if he was that young though, because like he probably was, but like basically what it was about, like the guys that he was with killed the white owner of the store, and then the white owner killed him, and then they killed a couple others or whatever. He was the only one left, and then he took money out the register, and then he was drinking. He took the bottle or whatever drinking, and then he got caught by a white, nosy ass white people. And that's how he got charged with a white lawyer. White lawyer basically called me a hog, a nigga with this and whatever. So he just putting that in my mind. And then the teacher teaches me basically, since I can't get off of this murder and I can't be free from this murder, he teaches me how to stand up like a man and go to that chair and face it like a man.
I think we got like a little
calm me down and everything. It was sad. Yeah. There was people crying, like, crying, boo.
That means you did your job, brother, as an actor.
Yeah, I was surprised.
If you could pull that emotion out of your crowd, then, hey, man, you need to probably go all the way with that, man, because that's where the money at. Straight up and down, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Even though I did it
I want to see you be successful.
I got like 15 minutes left, y'all. So I'm glad that everybody joined us. Thank you for joining us, Moses. We're gonna try to see if we could catch another call. I love talking to you because you always bring some truth. But let's see if we can get another call in. And I appreciate you.
Yeah, bro. Just subscribe, man. We're gonna keep it going.
Too.
No doubt, man. Peace.
Appreciate y'all too.
All right.
Peace.
Okay, so I just want to touch on some things. I'm looking at this video, and these people are just scrambling around like ants. No structure, no form.
No justice, no peace.
Just all over the place. And this right here, it might last for a few days, but it's to me, it's not conducive to anything. That's my personal opinion. Some of you guys may think it's work. There is a progression in this. There is a way that you're supposed to go into war, and you are supposed to start with a march, but you have to have form. You have to have an aim, and you have to have tactics. And this is why we don't last long as a people, because we get mad, we get angry, we lash out, and then we're back to the next versus battle. You know, no structure. Look, they riots in their own neighborhoods, burning up their own stuff. I remember living inside the LA riots. They burned down both. One of the stores was a grocery store at the corner of my house, and the other store was just like a little market store. And when we burned down them stores, guess what? We ain't had no store to go to. We still in subjugation, you guys. We still in captivity. This is not the right way to do things. We need to think smarter. We need to strategize. We need to have tactics. We need to have a plan, okay? People just running around in all different directions, don't know where to go like Bozo the Clown. Look at them. And then if you go and check out the first riot videos that I showed, the people that started the riot was not us. The people that started standing on the police cars was not us. It wasn't us first. That's why those others be in the crowd to start stuff like this, to make us follow the insanity. Pay attention.
I say burn the shit down.
He say burn it down.
I say start beating.
We all want to burn it down, but we
asses, start burning shit down, because you
don't
don't understand. Look, as a man, check it out. You got me on lockdown for how long? What, 2-3 months? You talking about stay inside? I'm sitting here on my phone. I see this brother get choked out with his hands behind his back, knee in his neck. You know what? This is my city. Check it out, man. I'm outside, and it's whatever. You know what I mean? I see my people getting busy out there in the street, and I salute that, man. I mean, what else can you do? They haven't made an arrest. You know what I'm saying? What does it take? It's murder. Ain't no way around it. It's murder. The dude was on his throat for 10 minutes. I can't breathe. Eric Gardner. That's the name you were thinking about. Eric Gardner. I can't breathe. And they made the T-shirts. But check it out. We've seen this movie before.
We've seen this movie before.
And on top of that, let me add this. The dude that filmed Eric Gardner getting choked out, he got arrested and he got time.
Yeah, he did.
The cop got off.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I see these people out here in the street, hey, more power to you. If I could, look, I'm ready to jump in my car, drive to Minneapolis, and get busy right now with my folks.
Nah, this is not the... Okay, so to me, okay, this only satisfies us for a time. This is not going to be the end of a person getting brutally killed by an officer, okay? Let's just keep it 100. And I understand where you going. At one point, I was like, let's just all burn this whole motherfucking down. Excuse my language. I want to end this too. But it's a war. You can't just go out there blindly.
It's making an arrest. Making an arrest. I mean, you want this to stop?
Even if they make an arrest.
You want this to stop? Put them officers in handcuffs. Somebody call in and tell me what you think, man. Am I right or is she right? I don't know.
It ain't no right or wrong. We're gonna have this is where the divide comes in. We're not gonna always agree on
make an arrest.
I'm
four of them.
I'm more in the militant mind. I wanna do this the right way. Okay, this is to me. We seen this. We seen this with the Rots riots. We seen this with the LA riots. We seen this with the riots in Ferguson. We've seen these riots before. And this stuff keep happening. This ain't pumping. Ain't no police out there right now.
They lined up.
I don't see them right now.
They lined up.
I don't see any.
Oh, they formed the line right there. They look like ants, but when you see that little line of people right there,
where
those are not the elders.
Where you see police? Cause I don't see none.
They just moved the camera.
I don't see none.
Those ain't those.
But you might see some. They don't care if you tear up your own neighborhood. Go to their neighborhood and tear it up.
How we know this is not their neighborhood? This is
30. The same neighborhood
this
that
where
man
the dude
was in.
Look, I'm looking at the street sign. This might be 38th in Chicago where the dude got killed at.
Yeah, and that's his neighborhood.
Okay.
It's a predominantly black neighborhood. I think, I don't know. But he was there, so I'm saying if he was in that neighborhood and everybody that was standing around saying stop was black, I'm thinking that's a black neighborhood. I'm not sure, but anybody that's in Minneapolis that know the area, let me know what neighborhood are they in.
I mean, please let us know something, man. Like,
your cat, man.
We blind.
Your cat.
We out here in L.A., tripping off this. And we've been through this before. You know what I'm saying? That's basically why I was saying thing about rubber bullets and the tear gas. 92, check it out. They let us do our thing, in the riot. We had the riot. Man, about 3 days in, I'm at a party on 98th. It was Colden or 98, whatever you want to call it. We out there partying. Next thing we know, the police want to do a counteroffensive. It's been about 3 or 4 days. They tired of letting us tear up shit. Now, we not tearing up shit. We on a back street in a residential. All of a sudden, we look down the street, man. They got tanks. This is when the National Guard came in. But the frontline soldiers was all LAPD. And that's when they hit us with a barrage of rubber bullets. I didn't get hit till I tried to help somebody up off the ground.
Why did they do that? Why did they do that?
They told us to disperse.
Why?
They're doing a counteroffensive operation.
What was y'all doing?
We was having a party. It was a block party.
So black people can't.
This is what I said. This is what I said. This is like the third or fourth day into the riot. Like the riot was dying down.
Which riot?
So that's why I said in 92.
No, the L.A. riot. Okay.
The L.A. riot. That's why I said it was like a counteroffensive by LAPD. They told us to disperse, and we stand around, of course, fuck the police, this, that, and the other. They got the little.
Okay, I see one cop car right there.
They got the little tanks behind them and everything, but the front line, even with the National Guard, was LAPD, and they just unloaded. They unloaded. Brother next to me got hit. I'm trying to help him off the block to Dinker because it was side street Dinker, and that's when I got hit in the lower thigh. And that shit is no joke. Getting hit with a rubber bullet is no joke. We're not talking about pistols. We're talking about shotguns. Rubber bullets come out of shotguns. Keep that in mind. So, you know what I'm saying? It's got gunpowder on one end. It's got rubber on the other. You know what I'm saying? If you close enough, this just might kill you. You know what I'm saying? From a distance, I got popped with that. I had to drag my own ass off that block. So, you know what I'm saying? When you look at these people in the background who are sitting and protesting, on day one. Now, see, this is day two. And, you know what I'm saying? This is probably why they so mad, because day one, from what I understand, I saw it. They were peaceful. They were marching. They said there needs to be an arrest. What do? They hit them with rubber bullets and tear gas. So what do you expect on day two? They got deeper.
This probably ain't even going to last past
They got
day
deeper.
3.
They came out even deeper.
This probably lasts maybe, a week or two. And they might arrest the people. They're going to arrest them, of course. And then those people, they're going to tell us they're arrested. Probably put the people in witness protection or something. The people gonna live a cushy life because those same people did the job that they wanted them to do. This is a circus to me. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's always a circus.
And then we gonna feel like we accomplished something, and then next week, next month, next 2 months, whatever, the same thing gonna happen.
Well, I could tell you this.
It's probably happening right now, and it hasn't been recorded. Next
week, next month, we are One News. Please please subscribe. I'd like to thank this lady for helping me out because this is the first time. Look, you know what? I've been trying to put this together.
We're going to be night and day out here, I see.
I'm trying to put this together for a minute, right? But because really this isolation thing, we don't know what's coming next. And there's a lot of stuff floating around. And mainstream media isn't going to address the things that's happening to us. And the way that they are, man, I'm starting to, you know what? You notice that when one of these brothers and sisters get killed, we always wait for our favorite journalist or our favorite news show to come on so we can hear what they got to say.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean? How they gonna feel about it? You know what I'm saying? What's the word? But we should be like that with a leader. We should have a leader waiting for him to give his command. Yo, did you see what happened? Yo, man, we gotta hear what the brother gonna tell us to do.
Oh.
Yo, this. Exactly. That's my point.
Why do we need somebody to tell us what to do? We
need it because we're disorganized. Look, they talk about cut the head off the snake. Where's our head? Yeah. We just out here. Look at what's going on the TV.
I don't know if anybody's seen my post. I said, stop looking for leaders and start being one. We are leaders. I mean, every one of us have it in us to be a leader. However, it's about you when you become a leader, it's about stepping outside and being brave. You got to really speak this talk. You really got to think about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looking for a leader. It's like, okay, what could you do to change the situation?
Are you saying we a bunch of punks?
Oh man, don't give me in
Is that
trouble
what
with
you
the
saying?
men. They get your hey,
That
get
we
the
got.
cat.
What you mean? We got to be brave. Yeah, I mean, look, man. I mean, we gon' die. You know what I'm saying? You might as well die for something. And this all the strength is in numbers. Man, don't think that we ain't got nothing as black people. That's the thing. We ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing. Man, we got
Who
each
said
other.
that? I never.
We
said
got
that.
each other. And right now, yo, that accounts for a whole lot. All we got to do, the strength is in numbers. Organize. You know what I'm saying? And then once we organize, we can come up with an agenda and stick to it. And it's going to take a code of conduct. People going to have to know how to act. You can't just be acting any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? These musicians, these artists, these celebrities, they got our kids. But you got to keep in mind that the messaging is not coming from black companies. These music executives are the ones that's writing up these TV shows who's showing us in these drama-filled, you know what I'm talking about, Love and Hip Hop.
Don't talk about Love and Hip Hop.
Okay, but I'm saying,
I Love and Hip Hop.
but you gotta understand, you gotta understand it's entertainment.
Talk about her.
And let me
Yeah.
say this, since we're talking about that, right? With the show, The First 48. Let's talk about The First 48.
Right.
You know what? If you look up the national murder rate, right, on who's killing who, we are lower population than white people. We all know that. We're like 13%. White people are killing white people at a bigger rate than black people are killing black people. I'm not going to say it's more or less, but it's just a little bit over equal. So when they show these shows with blacks killing blacks all the time, they're trying to send a message, that you get this image in your head of how we are. But if you look at the murder rate, they're killing people at the same rate, their own people. How come we're not getting first 48s of these white people? Now, keep in mind, we got ID channel, and look how they do ID channel, these long, dragged out stories.
I don't watch that much TV.
But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to white murder, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I know how females are. They watch ID and Ion and all that shit.
What's that?
With these long, dragged out stories where, you know what I'm saying, a white person will murder a white person for some insurance money, and it takes them 5 or 10 years to get caught. They have to revisit the story and go back over the evidence and question the neighbors and shit because he was an upstanding citizen. You know, when it comes to our community, it's the first 48 hours. They got 2 days to solve this case. But you know what I mean? In the upscale neighborhood, you walk around for 5-6 years.
I don't think it's
They
necessary.
think, like, you know what? She did it.
They got
She did it.
They got 2 days to solve the case. They just want to solve the case in 2 days. I try not to watch TV. I like to watch like documentaries of real people and real life, stuff. But I do like I don't really watch Love and Hip Hop no more. But it's entertainment.
Well, the season ended.
Oh yeah, see, I don't even know. I stopped watching.
You talking about
that.
Miami, yeah, but you know what I mean?
Oh no, see, I can't get with Miami. I never liked it that one. I liked Hollywood and I liked Atlanta, but I stopped watching it a long time ago. And you guys, you black men, stop hating on reality TV shows. Let us have that, okay? You guys like to watch that gory stuff and want us to sit and watch that mess with y'all. Leave us alone when we watch. Those are our soap operas, okay? Leave us alone when we watch that.
I'm not hating on it. All I'm saying is that I want to get fed. That's what this show is about. I need to talk to some people that know some things. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a student of life. I'm trying to learn something. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything. I know some things that I could share with you that is valuable. But, brother, please share your intellect with me because what you know is valuable as well. And together, you know what I'm saying, we can put it together. I need you to call in. We're going to shut this down. I'd like to thank Mika for helping me on this first episode. But it was time because what I saw yesterday is this white man with his knee on the dude's neck until he passed away. And the man begged for help. And we've seen this movie 4 or 5 times in this month. In this month alone. Okay? So it's like, it's coming from the top. us versus them. You know what I'm saying? And the same day, the lady in the park talking about I'm being attacked by he's threatening my life, this black man, when all he asked him to do is put your dog on the leash. You know what I'm saying? So look at how they look at us. When are we going to start looking at each other like, you know what I'm saying, like we can really pull ourselves together, work with me. That's what this show is about. This is a Black National Talk radio show, even though I'm live streaming. But it's to open the lines of communication. Talk to me, and when you talk to me, you're talking to the rest of the nation. I'm going to keep coming up with news that's relevant to us, that I feel like is relevant to us, because they're not always going to cover our subjects with what's going on. Moving forward, all they're talking about is how everything is affecting the most vulnerable. We're the ones dying at a higher rate. 100,000 has just been, the mark has just been met right after Memorial Day. So you can always keep that in your mind. At Memorial Day 2020, 100,000 people died this year. In 2020, by Memorial Day, maybe the day after, 100,000 people, souls passed away. Many of them were people of color, you know, for a pandemic, you know what I mean, something that I don't care what you say, it was made in a laboratory. How we been on this planet for thousands and thousands of years, been able to survive everything. We got 1,000 viruses in us right now. This one, they say, comes from a bat in China. Now, I do follow Dr. Rashid Buttar. He has said some things that I don't agree with, but for the most part, him and Dr. Judy Merkowitz, whose book is #1 bestseller on Amazon right now, that they don't talk about. They try to discredit her on MSNBC. But I want you to look at this and think about this. They try to discredit her on MSNBC. Now MSNBC is the news show I prefer because, of course, I'm more leftist. But think about the name of the channel. It starts with MS. Now, that's Microsoft. Now, who started that company?
I never thought about that.
Bill Gates, the person who's trying to give us the vaccination, come up with the vaccination, who wanted to see the world depopulated. So think about the messaging, and can we still trust it anymore?
Yeah, remind me.
They talk about everything, and this conspiracy stuff that's coming out. You know what I mean? The people that are talking about conspiracies and this and that, nigga, you are the conspiracy. Okay? You were bought out by a company that's pushing the vaccine agenda. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't trust everything. And this is the alternate right now. So, I don't know. You might know something that I don't know. Please call, share with me. This is our first time trying it out. I feel like it was successful. I want to thank my co-host. I want to thank you if you was watching. Please like, please subscribe, because this is going to be going on till the election. Please believe it. Until we figure out what is it that all these groups that are pro-black are, you know what I'm saying, trying to get rights for black people, trying to get us to get out and vote, because that seems like that's all they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Every time I turn on the TV, there's some guy or some girl who's pushing the initiative of what we need to do to change America is to get people to vote. But I'm asking you now, what are we asking for?
Why are we still asking?
What are we asking for?
Why are we still asking? That's my question.
Because obviously, like, people don't look, man. I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about the gun law. But I tell you why we're asking.
Why?
But
what are we asking?
I don't want to put my personal business out there. But with the gun laws and the Second Amendment, it's not for everybody. It's not for
none of this
all
is
of
for us.
Yeah,
it's not for us at all. And
yeah. So yeah, we do need to petition our government, because they need to recognize we are American. I ain't got no problem saying I'm an African in America, so that makes me an African American. I do not trip off labels. That is my label, and I'm comfortable with it. I am an African American. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to vibe with people just like me for our things that affect us. So look, man, thank you for joining us. Please, if you can, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next show and the next newsreel. Thank you, Mika.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good night.
Good night, you guys. And why are we still asking now? Why are we still asking?
One phone call.
You're not gonna get no phone calls right away. That's why I said, what are you tripping on? You thought you was finna get a phone call right away?
I'm glad he called.
I had to share it on
I
my
need to
page to
send
get that. You don't even have.
I need to send that man a gift basket, a fruit basket.
You better not.
Let me send him a fruit basket.
Okay, please don't. Okay, please take. Okay, so can you take my thing? Can you take my page off of the thing so if you decide to go on there again, it won't automatically come on my page? Or what? Like, can you like click the thing?
Take it off.
Let me see. Let me see the button. Let me see the mouse. Are you? You want to save? Do you want to save the changes?
I don't even think I shared it.